This is not only one of the best dynamic microphones on the market, I think it's one of the best products that Rode have ever made. This is the RODE Podmic USB, and it perfectly bridges the gap between transitioning from USB microphones to XLR microphones. When you see your favorite podcasters using mics, they're using dynamic microphones which all need an XLR connection. They work brilliantly for a podcast because they get that really nice sound for their voice, especially when they talk up close like this. But the downside is you're going to need some sort of interface like this one. Now what this thing is great for is capturing audio for multiple people. What it is really just overkill for is for the solo creators, people like me who don't need multiple mic inputs, I just need the one. I've used a RODE Podmic quite a lot of times before in conjunction with a Rodecaster Pro 2, and the thing that bothers me is that I have to set everything up to be able to record a video, whereas the RODE Podmic USB has a better functionality. It has a USB-C connection that will allow you to plug straight into a Mac, PC, or even a mobile device. But the next thing is, how does it actually sound? If it's plugging straight into a computer and not into an interface which is doing the audio processing, then is it actually going to sound any good? I'll let you judge for yourself. I've got this RODE Podmic USB plugged in via XLR into a Rodecaster Duo, which is on my desk, and via USB straight into my PC. Let's hear how they sound. What you're hearing right now is the RODE Podmic via the XLR connection into a Rodecaster Duo, which is plugged into my desktop PC. And now you are hearing the USB connection directly from this RODE Podmic into a USB-C port on my desktop PC. And now back to the XLR connection. With this plugged into the Rodecaster Duo, it is set to the Podmic preset with a gain of 50 decibels. And I've plugged the USB back in, and this is actually what I have been using the entire time, and I've not had to configure anything. I've not changed anything with software or any kind of mixer. This is the sound directly from the microphone straight into the PC. And the reason why we can get such good sound quality from the USB is because this device has got the same Aphex audio processing and the same Revolution preamps that you'll find in the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Duo. That means wrapped into this tiny package is the audio processing capability of an entire XLR mixer. So overall, the sound quality from this is pretty good, and I actually prefer the USB. In the box with the Podmic USB comes an actual tailored pop filter designed specifically for the Podmic. I've taken it off so you can get a good look at it as I'm using it, but of course I have some B-roll as well to show you what this looks like. And if you're wondering, yes, this will fit on the original Podmic. I'm going to put this back on though because I prefer how it sounds. Compared to the original Podmic, the design language is exactly the same, but in this new all black color. On the back of the RODE Podmic USB is where we're going to find the XLR port, the USB-C port, as well as a 3.5mm audio jack for headphones. So that allows us to use the Podmic as an audio output if we choose to, and we've also got a copper dial at the top here which will allow us to control the output volume. Pressing this dial in will also activate audio referencing so we can hear what we're saying in real time, and by turning the dial we can change the volume. While this is some great functionality, one thing I think the Podmic USB is missing, which you would find typically on other USB microphones, is a mute button. I think one solution to this is with a firmware update, allowing us to remap what that dial does on the back when we press it. And it's all well and good having a mute button built into the software that we're using, but there's nothing more reassuring than having a physical button that we can press to mute ourselves. Now, like the original Podmic, you will get the mount included with it, but this will not come with any kind of stand or microphone arm, so that will mean some extra investment that you have to put in when buying one of these microphones if you don't have a stand already. Now, where this microphone really does shine is bridging that gap between an XLR mic and a USB mic. If you want to purchase a device that is solid on its own and doesn't require any kind of interface, then I think this is an excellent choice. Albeit with an expensive price tag. The RODE Podmic USB comes in at around £200 in the UK. However, for the sound quality that you get, for the audio processing that's included, for the plug-in and play capability, and for the upgradability, I think that's a fairly reasonable price. Because one thing it also does is future-proofs you if you want to upgrade your setup going forwards. If you suddenly decide that you have more people involved in your productions, or you want that control of an audio interface, then this having an XLR connection as well will allow you to build your setup without needing to replace the microphone. I think that's a really powerful versatility to have. And I've also tested using the XLR and the USB connection at the same time. In fact, I'm pretty much doing it right now because I have both plugged in to different sources, and I can say that it does not work simultaneously. You can use the USB or the XLR, but you cannot use both at the same time. And what I found is it tends to prioritize the USB connection over the XLR. I'll unplug the USB now, and it's gone to the XLR connection, but when I plug this USB back in, it will automatically prioritize and swap back to the USB. So if you are a solo content creator and you need a microphone that's going to grow with your setup, then I think this is a pretty solid choice. If you're an independent creator working mostly on your own, then I think this is a much better solution to go for than purchasing a pod mic and a Rodecaster Pro 2 or a Rodecaster Duo. You could always go for cheaper microphones and cheaper mixers, but with this device, I think you genuinely get what you pay for. I can't objectively say that it is the best microphone on the market, nor is it the only one with dual connectivity. There are other products out there, and there are also really good USB microphones out there. But if you want a device that kind of has everything all in one, great audio processing, great plug-in and play capability, and the versatility to upgrade with your setup, this is a pretty good choice to go for.